Good morning, everyone. Yes, thank you, Stephen, for the introduction. I suppose this is a bit of a surreal moment for me, coming from starting this journey as a father of a patient. Some of you may know Jorja's story, some of you may not. Jorja was born in 2016. She suffers from a rare chromosome deletion, and from that chromosome deletion, she suffered a severe form of epilepsy. Jorja's epilepsy was so bad that in 2017, she ended up in intensive care on 2 separate occasions. On the second occasion, they came to the foot of Jorja's bed and told us that Jorja was going to die, and there was nothing more they could do for her. Obviously, you can imagine as a father, this ripped my world apart, and I decided that I needed to find something that was going to help my daughter, to which I came across medical cannabis. At that time in the UK, medical cannabis was illegal, but I could see the brilliant results that it was having on other children around the world. In particular, there was one child in Australia that suffered from the same chromosome deletion as Jorja, but this child was thriving. I remember contacting her parents and asking, how's Emmy doing so well? And to which, again, I was told medical cannabis. This child was living a practically seizure-free life. So I, along with a number of other parents, started the campaign within the UK for access to medical cannabis. I came across a fantastic clinician at the Portland Hospital, Dr. Martinez, who was very, very supportive of medical cannabis at that time. Thankfully, fast forward to November 2018, and the law changed. And that December, Jorja got a prescription for medical cannabis. From then, she's now a 7-year-old child, and she's been thriving, doing fantastic. Jorja had over 30 seizures a day. That diagnosis of being told to go home, take your child home to die, to where Jorja is today, that's all down to medical cannabis. So naturally, I decided medical cannabis would become my life. I wanted to make sure that every Jorja out there gets access to medical cannabis. Part of what we're doing at the moment is we're doing a documentary on Jorja's story, and from that, we hope to help with the stigmatization that we know we all face as an industry around medical cannabis. I'd like to play a short trailer now of the documentary. There was nothing more they could do for her. Jorja was going to die. They told us Jorja's brain was actually decaying. What's the point? Is there any point in me even continuing? Your daughter's everything, your child's everything to you. I needed to fight.
With permission, Mr. Speaker, I would like to make a statement on the medical use of cannabis.
Certain cannabis-based products.
Medical cannabis.
Medicinal cannabis.
Medical cannabis.
Medical cannabis. Jorja's not dying. Child's not terminal. Belfast have it wrong. She's mostly seizure-free, laughing, enjoying life, playing with her toys. Keeps her alive. Medical cannabis was made legal 1 year ago, and yet nobody has got access to it. Jorja's GP wants to write the prescription, but because of the guidelines that the government put in, they're not allowed to. Not enough evidence out there. Jorja's the evidence. You need to keep fighting. So hopefully everybody will see why I'm so passionate about what I do. I believe in an old proverb that you only die once the last person stops mentioning your name. So obviously I hope Jorja's name's mentioned for many, many years to come and what we're establishing as a business. Part of what we are doing, we have established is the Jorja Emerson Centre at Paddington in London. It's a multidisciplinary clinic rather than a medical cannabis clinic. We do a range of various different diagnostic testing from MRIs through to CT scans, and we have an on-site lab that enables us to do full blood works and full genetic testing and sequencing. I'll just play a short trailer of the centre for everybody.
Welcome to the Jorja Emerson Centre and our state-of-the-art clinic beside Paddington Station in central London. We are the UK's first innovative medical clinic treating a wide range of conditions for both adults and children, including chronic pain, neurological, autism, addiction and mental health illness. A particular area of expertise is medical cannabis medications. Our consultants can help patients improve their quality of life where their current medication or treatment plan is not working.
Yeah, so that was just a short video on the clinic. So at the clinic, we're looking to shake things up a bit, hopefully in the industry, and hopefully give more and more people access. We have created a brand called Jorja's Dream in association with Tilray, where we will be releasing a number of various different strains of both flower and tinctures on the market. So the whole idea of what we're trying to do is gain access for patients. Along with this, we'll be launching the Jorja Access Scheme, which will allow patients to get access to product at a cost of $3.95 per gram, but with no additional costs. So the centre will offer free consultations for that scheme if you qualify for that scheme. Which is for low-income families and people who are on income-related benefits. And then they enable people to get access to much-needed medication, like Jorja. This all comes back to Jorja and the reason why I believe in how we try and move forwards as an industry. And I think there's a lot of changes we need to make as an industry. We need a lot of realism of where we are as an industry. We need to understand that we have a long way to go. Although we have achieved a lot, as Stephen alluded to earlier, I think there's a lot more to do, particularly around evidence, clinical trials and studies, which is something that we are going to be at the frontier of at the Jorja Emerson Centre. We have 2 clinical trials, a full RCT clinical trial that will be starting in July. It is on its second draft of its protocol. At the moment. So I feel that we all need to come together as an industry to look at what are the next steps, how do we get more access to patients, obviously getting access to patients who need medication immediately, but also doing that work, rolling our sleeves up in the background and being able to set out of what we actually need to do to progress this industry forwards. I want to thank everybody for your time. Thank you.